Archangel Michael and Jesus says this person fell in love with you even with the age diff. God wants you to listen this now, my beloved child, stay right here, and don't scroll. Something divine is about to be revealed, something you were never supposed to know this early. Heavens have whispered your name again, and what I'm about to tell you will make your heart tremble softly with truth. What you're stepping into right now isn't coincidence, it's almost like heaven pressed a sudden reveal chapter button on your destiny, and the surprising part is this. Someone didn't fall for you because of looks, style, or the usual human reasons. Their heart tripped over your spirit, the connection felt ancient, like a memory returning, and even the age gap couldn't interrupt what their soul recognized in a single moment. At first the difference in years shook them, they tried to act logical, practical, even slightly dramatic, telling themselves no way, this cannot be happening. But heaven had other plans. Archangel Michael says, your energy hit their life like sunlight cutting through a gray morning. They tried pushing the feeling away, telling themselves it's too unlikely or too complicated, yet every night their thoughts drift back to you like a song that refuses to stop playing. Don't move away, because heaven wants you to see the truth. This isn't random at all. God allowed them to look at you through divine timing, not through society's rules or people's opinions. They noticed the softness you carry, the quiet strength underneath, the kind of peace that feels safe even in silence. And no matter who they met, nothing ever matched what they felt with you. Your laughter stayed in their memory, even the way you say simple things carried warmth that felt like home. They even spoke to God about you, asking the classic questions, why me, why now, why this person? But signs kept coming back like echoes, your name in unexpected places, your birthday repeating on screens, sense reminding them of you drifting out of nowhere. A random video, a random phrase, and suddenly they're thinking of you again. These aren't coincidences, they're divine reminders tapping them on the shoulder. Jesus says this connection isn't here to confuse you, it has a purpose, to mend parts of both of you that life once broke. It's the kind of love that rearranges the heart, not destroys it. And something big is coming, a message, a confession, or a meeting that won't be accidental. It will feel like heaven gently placing both of you on the same path again. Stay here, my child, because what's coming is meant for your awareness. The person you thought moved on still carries you in their breath. When they close their eyes, your face becomes the calm ocean their soul sinks into. They once labeled it just attraction, but heaven already smiled, knowing this bond was written long before their doubt. Even with the age difference, the hesitation, and the what-ifs, their spirit keeps stretching toward you like a plant toward sunlight. God didn't let this happen early because growth was needed on both sides. They had to mature emotionally, spiritually, mentally, to handle a love that isn't ordinary. Archangel Michael says, your love story was delayed, not denied. Every silent moment was polishing you both. You're not too young, they're not too old, you are both the exact fit for God's design. They feel you in songs, in the wind brushing against their skin, in dreams where you show up smiling like you used to. They wake up knowing they can't outrun something heaven wrote. Don't scroll, because a sign is coming soon, a lyric, a message, a familiar fragrance. And it will hit you at the exact moment they're thinking of you. It will be divine alignment unfolding in real time. Jesus says, Love that breaks rules is love that breaks barriers. This isn't obsession or fantasy, it's spiritual architecture. You are learning unconditional love, and they are learning to see beyond the boundaries that once limited them. Heaven is guarding this connection from jealousy and gossip, arranging every step quietly so both of you meet without chaos. And here's the deeper truth, they didn't just fall for you from a distance, their soul recognized you before their eyes ever knew your face. Every attempt to forget you only guided them back stronger. When your name appears suddenly, their chest tightens, not out of fear, but because something inside them whispers this is the one. Archangel Michael says, this bond was written in celestial scrolls. Every delay was preparation so you could meet as two complete souls. That's why you can't stop thinking of them, and why they can't stop feeling you. Destiny hums like a heartbeat pulling you toward what is meant. So listen, my beloved child, heaven didn't bring this connection into your life to tease you, confuse you, or hurt you. It was sent to awaken a new chapter in you. And soon something will open a doorway, a message, a moment, and it will confirm what your heart already knows. This was never forbidden love, it was chosen love, and the next step will arrive with clarity, courage, and peace that feels like coming home. Stay till the end, because something unseen is moving right now. The moment you feel that sudden calm, that strange warmth across your chest, know that their soul is calling yours. They are thinking about you while listening to this very message. Jesus says, real love doesn't rush, it unfolds like sunrise, slow, steady, and impossible to stop once it begins. That's why heaven used distance like a teacher, and silence like a sculptor, shaping both of your hearts so that neither of you arrives unprepared. Soon without warning life will create a moment where your paths cross again. It won't feel forced or dramatic, it will feel natural, gentle, and guided. Like stepping into a scene that was waiting for you all along. My beloved child, don't look away, because what follows explains why God tied your story to theirs in the first place. The person who fell for you has been wrestling with emotions they can't keep buried anymore. Their heart has been whispering your name every time they try to quiet their thoughts. They once convinced themselves that time would erase the feeling, that life would pull them in a new direction. But instead of fading, the connection deepened, growing roots in places they didn't even know were empty. That age difference they feared in the beginning, it has now become proof to them that this love wasn't impulsive, but intentional, crafted with purpose. Archangel Michael says, the timing of this love wasn't delayed, it was sanctified. Both of you needed to grow into your own strength before heaven allowed the bond to rise. That's why you've been noticing signs lately, numbers repeating, sudden dreams that feel too real, or the strange pull to check your phone at the exact moment they're thinking of you. These aren't coincidences, they are divine breadcrumbs, leading you toward the moment God already circled in your destiny. Jesus says this connection won't disturb your peace, it will rebuild it. It'll replace old anxieties with steady comfort, fill empty spaces with laughter again, and soften wounds you forgot you carried. Very soon they will do something unexpected, maybe a message, maybe a soft confession, maybe a meeting arranged by fate rather than effort. And when it happens, a warm wave will spread through your chest, the kind that feels like angels placing their hands gently over your heart. This bond has been protected in silence for a reason. Heaven hid it from gossip, from jealousy, from misunderstandings that could have poisoned it before it had roots. Sacred things always grow quietly before they are revealed. And in your next encounter, when their eyes lock with yours, you will notice the same spark you saw the first time. That spark wasn't confusion, it was recognition, the moment your soul remembered someone it loved long before this lifetime. My beloved child, hold still, because the next part carries the heartbeat of prophecy. Heaven has already opened the next page of your story, and this part reveals their next move. For months they carried your name with quiet devotion, afraid others would misjudge what they felt because of the age gap or circumstances. But something has transformed inside them. They no longer ask why me, they now whisper thank you God, because they understand that feelings this pure don't visit everyone. Every detail about you, your kindness, your steadiness, the small things you probably forgot, have turned into their safe place. They didn't love because it was convenient, they loved because their soul aligned with yours in a way they couldn't deny. And right now heaven is nudging them toward action, a message, a call, or a meeting is waiting at the edge of divine timing. Archangel Michael says this connection has been guarded with a shield of light. That's why no rumor, no jealousy, no silence was able to break it. Even when you drifted apart, the bond stayed alive in unseen realms. Heaven waited until both of you were strong enough to carry something this rare. And now that moment approaches, you'll feel it before it arrives, a sudden shiver, a tightening in your heart, a line in a song that feels like it's speaking straight to your spirit. These are heaven's signals preparing you for the reunion that was written before you were born. Stay till the end, because the next chapter won't require chasing or forcing. Just like sunrise doesn't need permission to rise, this truth will come forward naturally. What once confused you will suddenly make perfect sense, the delays will feel like preparation. And both of you will realize that age was never an obstacle, it was simply a reminder that divine timing doesn't follow human timelines. My beloved child, don't blink now, what you're about to feel is destiny coming alive. The angels are moving quietly around you, arranging something with precision. The person who tried to silence their feelings can no longer outrun what heaven has already revealed. They've tried distracting themselves, diving into routines, convincing their heart to move on, but every attempt only pulled your name back into their world. A song lyric, a random memory, a dream, they keep being reminded of you, because your souls are tied through purpose, not coincidence. And here is the truth heaven wants you to absorb deeply. This love isn't returning to repeat old cycles, it's returning to begin the chapter both of you were prepared for. A chapter that values emotional maturity, honesty, spiritual growth, and a bond that refuses to break under pressure. When this confession arrives, whether softly or boldly, it will carry the weight of every silent prayer they once whispered. This was never just attraction, it was alignment, it was destiny rehearsing itself in the background, until the perfect moment arrived. And that moment, my child, is closer than you think. My beloved child, don't scroll, not now. Because the next truth rising from the heavens is something your spirit has been sensing for days. The air around you has shifted, the silence feels different, even your heartbeats have started matching a rhythm you can't explain. That's because their soul is leaning toward you again, drawn by a pull stronger than logic, stronger than distance, stronger than every fear they once hid behind. Heaven is setting the stage, arranging quiet moments that will guide both of you toward a reunion that feels almost unreal yet deeply familiar. The connection you share is no longer whispering, it's beginning to speak, and soon it will roar through signs you cannot ignore. Archangel Michael says this person has been fighting an inner battle for far too long, trying to understand why your presence feels like home in a world filled with noise. They tried labeling it, rationalizing it, and even convincing themselves it was all in their head. But love written by divine hands refuses to shrink into something small. Their spirit has finally surrendered to the truth, that what they feel is not imagination, but a spiritual bond carved long before either of you took your first breath. They now see that the age difference wasn't an obstacle, it was a heavenly design meant to merge two different worlds into one sacred connection. Stay, my child, because the next part holds the reason their heart keeps circling back to yours. Jesus says real love doesn't collapse under pressure, it grows, it learns, it breathes. And this person has been learning quietly, growing through challenges, shedding old fears, and discovering the strength they never knew they had. Every lesson has been shaping them into someone capable of loving you with maturity, tenderness, and truth. Their soul has been rehearsing the confession they're about to make, not through perfect words, but through silent longing, unspoken hope, and prayers whispered into the night when no one was watching. Don't scroll, because heaven wants you to feel the depth of what's unfolding. This person has reached the point where hiding their feelings feels heavier than expressing them. They're tired of pretending they don't care, they're tired of acting strong, while missing your presence like a missing heartbeat. The memories of your conversations, your kindness, your unexplainable connection, all of it has turned into a quiet ache they can no longer carry alone. They've realized that losing you hurts more than any judgment or misunderstanding the world could throw at them. Archangel Michael says this bond has been protected like treasure. Every separation was temporary, every silence intentional, every delay purposeful. Heaven was polishing both of you, removing old fears, healing hidden wounds, and preparing your hearts to recognize each other without doubt or hesitation. That's why this reunion will feel different, softer, stronger, more certain. You will feel it like a gentle shift inside your chest, a wave of peace that settles into your bones, telling you that something divine is finally in motion. Stay till the end, because the next moment heaven is preparing will arrive quietly, almost casually. A familiar name lighting up your screen, a message that feels both unexpected and overdue, a voice that trembles slightly because holding back the truth has become impossible. They may say they were thinking of you, they may say they never moved on, they may simply ask how you've been. But behind those words will be emotion they can no longer hide, emotion heaven has been nurturing in the unseen. Jesus says the love coming your way is not here to confuse you, it is here to restore you. This person is being guided to show up differently this time, with clarity instead of fear, with honesty instead of hesitation, with warmth instead of walls. When your paths cross again, their eyes will carry a softness you've never seen before, a calmness that comes from surrendering to divine timing, a certainty that says I choose you, I always have. Don't scroll, my child, because heaven is not done speaking. Their heart is opening, blooming like a flower touched by morning light, they've begun admitting to themselves that what they feel for you is not something they can replace, avoid, or outrun. They feel you in songs they used to skip, they hear you in laughter that reminds them of your presence, they sense you in random moments, like when the world slows down for no reason, and they suddenly remember your voice. Heaven is using these moments to prepare them, aligning their courage with your readiness. Archangel Michael says this love is a calling, not a coincidence, and soon they will follow it without fear. The angels are guiding both of you toward a chapter where truths are spoken, misunderstandings are cleared, and hearts finally find their resting place. When the divine moment arrives, it won't feel dramatic, it will feel natural, like stepping into a place your soul already knows. As if time itself is exhaling, whispering you made it. So stay, my beloved child, the unfolding has already begun, and what awaits you next isn't a fantasy, it's a sacred promise finally awakening. My beloved child, stay exactly where you are, don't let your focus drift, because the next wave of truth is already rising inside your spirit. What you're feeling right now, the sudden heaviness, the warmth in your chest, that strange pressure behind your eyes, is not imagination. It's the echo of their awakening heart reaching out to yours. Heaven is pulling two timelines together, stitching what once felt broken into a perfect divine sequence. You think you're just listening, but your soul is actually remembering. Remembering a connection that never died, only slept. And now heaven is calling it back to life. Archangel Michael says this phase of your story is sacred, because the other person has finally stopped running from their own soul. They can no longer pretend the bond was temporary or accidental, they've tried distraction, silence, distance, yet nothing washed away the trace of your energy. Even in their happiest moments there was a quiet ache living underneath, a space only you could fill. They tried to silence their heart, but heaven kept placing your name in their path, like a divine reminder they couldn't escape. A song lyric at the right moment, a stranger with your smile, even dreams where you stood close enough for them to feel your breath. These weren't coincidences, they were spiritual alarms ringing in perfect rhythm. Don't scroll, my child, something in your life is about to shift so gently, so naturally, that it will feel like the universe exhaled in your favor. Jesus says when a love is ordained by heaven it doesn't rush, it ripens. And that's exactly what has been happening. The hesitation that once clouded their spirit is dissolving, the fear of judgment, the fear of age differences, the fear of what people may say, those chains are falling away one link at a time. What they see now is truth, pure, unfiltered, truth. And truth always leads back to you. You've become the quiet place their soul returns to, the memory that warms them on cold nights, the presence that lingers even when they try to push it away. It's like your energy lives in their heartbeat, softly tapping whenever your thoughts drift toward them. Heaven kept your spirits connected, like two candles burning from the same flame, even when distance tried to dim the light. And now destiny is bringing the candles closer, so the fire can rise again. Stay till the end, because you need to hear this. They are preparing to reach out. Not out of loneliness, not out of nostalgia, but out of clarity. A clarity heaven has been guiding them toward for months. Archangel Michael says they are rehearsing their words in silence, wondering how to speak without trembling, how to explain years of emotions in a single breath. They know one message could change everything, and they don't want to arrive with confusion, they want to arrive with purpose. You might notice unusual signs today, a sudden urge to check your phone, a random memory that hits your heart with unexpected strength, a wave of peace that feels too deep to ignore. These are spiritual notifications, heaven's way of aligning your energy with theirs. Jesus says when the soul recognizes home, the body feels it first. And you've been feeling it already, haven't you? That strange mix of calm and anticipation, like you're standing at the edge of something beautiful, and you can't explain why. Don't skip this, my child. Heaven is preparing a moment where everything unsaid will finally rise to the surface. Not through dramatic confessions, but through subtle, powerful connection. Their voice might shake, their message might feel simple, but beneath every word will be layers of courage, longing, and divine timing. They may say, "Are you okay?" or "I've been thinking about you," but those words will carry the weight of every silent prayer they whispered when no one was watching. The angels are clearing space around both your hearts, removing old fears, closing old wounds, making room for something reborn rather than recycled. This is not a return to what was, it's an elevation into what was always meant to be. Archangel Michael says the reunion ahead will feel like stepping into a memory and a prophecy at the same time. Their eyes will tell you everything, the love, the regret, the realization, the hope. And your soul will recognize them instantly, like it never forgot. My beloved child, stay open, stay steady. Heaven is not asking you to chase, only to receive. The path is being prepared at this very moment. Two hearts aligned by God cannot miss each other, not in this lifetime, not in any lifetime. What's coming is gentle, powerful, and beautifully inevitable. And when it unfolds before your eyes, you will finally understand why the waiting had to happen the way it did. You were not being delayed, you were being perfectly aligned with the version of love that can last. My beloved child, stay right here, because what's unfolding next is not just reunion, it is restoration, renewal, and the rewriting of a destiny heaven protected long before you even understood its depth. The angels are whispering that this love story is stepping into its awakening phase, the moment where everything that once felt confusing finally clicks into perfect divine logic. The person whose soul has been tied to yours is beginning to understand something they once feared to admit. You are not just someone they cared about, you are someone their spirit recognized before their mind could catch up. They've been fighting this connection for so long, that surrender now feels like relief, like finally exhaling after years of holding their breath. And every sign heaven sends only pulls them closer, the dreams where your face appears clearer than reality, the sudden chills when they think of you, the random flashes of memory that make their heart race. Don't scroll, my child, because these are not coincidences, these are activations. Their soul is waking up to the truth it tried to silence. Archangel Michael says, this next chapter is sacred. Both hearts are stepping into maturity, into clarity, into courage. The universe is guiding them to face what they once ran from. They are realizing that love this pure cannot be replaced, cannot be forgotten, cannot be pushed away. Even if the world never understood your connection, heaven always did. And now heaven is preparing to reveal that truth in ways neither of you can deny. You might feel a strange calm rising within you, a peaceful anticipation, as if your spirit already knows something big is approaching. That's because the angels are aligning your paths, quietly stitching the threads of destiny into a moment that will feel gentle yet powerful. Don't skip, my child, because this moment is the bridge between longing and fulfillment. The reunion won't arrive with noise, it will arrive like early morning light, soft, warm, impossible to ignore. Jesus says, pure love doesn't shout its way into your life, it returns with stillness, with clarity, with that deep breath your soul has been waiting to take. This person is beginning to see you, not through fear, not through doubt, but through the clarity heaven is gifting them. The age difference, the distance, the silence, all of it now makes sense to them. It wasn't a barrier, it was preparation. Heaven needed both of you to grow into who you were meant to be before your lives could intertwine again. Stay till the end, because the angels are finalizing the moment where confession becomes unavoidable. They are nudging this person's heart gently but firmly, removing the fears that once kept them silent. They are starting to realize that holding back their feelings only created more ache, more longing, more emptiness. And now every piece of their soul is urging them to speak, to reconnect, to step into the truth they once resisted. You will notice the signs intensifying, a song may hit differently, making your chest warm, a dream might feel like a conversation you actually lived, a sudden emotion may wash over you out of nowhere. These are spiritual nudges, reminders that your hearts are sinking again. Archangel Michael says, the alignment is nearly complete. And when divine alignment reaches its peak, nothing, not pride, not fear, not distance, can interfere. My child, stay with me. The universe is preparing that moment when their message arrives. It may be something simple like, hey, or, can we talk? But the energy behind it will shake your soul with peace. You'll feel this wave of warmth rushing through your body, because your spirit will recognize that heaven has opened the door. This isn't just communication, it's divine confirmation. Jesus says, when love returns transformed, it becomes unbreakable. And that is exactly what is happening. This time the connection won't feel fragile or uncertain, it will feel grounded, steady, guided. You'll sense a maturity in them, a softness in their words, a depth in their silence. This is not the same person who left, this is the version heaven shaped through every tear, every lesson, every restless night. Don't move, my child, what's coming next will feel like a sacred pause in time. When you see their name appear, your heart will know. And the moment your eyes meet again, whether through a call, a picture, or in person, something inside you will whisper, this is it. No chaos, no confusion, just divine knowing. My beloved child, remain still. Something holy is unfolding in your atmosphere. The angels are clearing away every old fear, brushing away the dust of past misunderstandings. They are preparing your heart to receive the love that was always meant for you. Love that has traveled lifetimes just to find you again. And when destiny finally brings both of you face to face, you will realize this wasn't waiting, this was preparation for a love written beyond time itself. The atmosphere around you is shifting in a way you can't quite explain, as if heaven itself is adjusting the threads of your destiny. What's unfolding now isn't random, it's restoration in motion. A divine meeting is being choreographed with a precision that human timing could never match. When your eyes find each other again, the silence between you will speak with a depth that decades of words could never reach. You'll feel that quiet click inside your soul, the one that whispers, "Finally, this is what was missing." Jesus says, "Love born in truth never fades." It may rest, it may go quiet, but it does not die. And you're finally understanding this in your spirit. What you shared wasn't fragile or temporary, it was the kind of bond that doesn't break even when life tries to scatter both souls in different directions. Your separation wasn't a loss, it was a gathering of wisdom, growth, and clarity that both of you needed before returning to each other's orbit. All the whispers, the déjà vu moments, the dreams that felt like memories instead of imagination. Those weren't coincidences, they were gentle nudges from heaven, telling you to open your heart again. Every strange feeling you've had, every sudden wave of emotion, was heaven tuning your spirit so you'd be aligned at exactly the right moment. Very soon this person will take a step even they once feared. Maybe a late-night message, a sudden appearance, or a moment so perfectly timed that it leaves you staring at your screen speechless. That will be your sign that the angels have completed their assignment. Stay with me, because what's coming next will not be chaos, it will be calm. Safe, meant. A love that doesn't shake you with anxiety, but grounds you with certainty. The kind of connection that makes you finally understand why other things never worked out. This isn't the ending of your story, this is the beginning, both souls have been quietly waiting for. Even in the moments when you convinced yourself to let go. Right now the very air around you carries their thoughts, their bravery is awakening, the person who once walked away or hesitated is now standing at the edge of courage, they have watched your strength even from afar, they've seen how you healed, how you grew, how you found peace while they were still fighting battles you never knew about. And now their heart keeps repeating the same truth. You were the one heaven placed in their path long before they understood what love was meant to feel like. Archangel Michael says, this connection is now entering divine activation, every old block, every fear, every misunderstanding, heaven is dissolving them one by one. That's why you may feel emotional for no reason. That's why old memories pop back into your mind, heaven is sinking both hearts again, pulling you closer in unseen ways. And this person returning, they're not the same version who left, time has humbled them, longing has softened them, and realization has reshaped everything. The differences that once felt like obstacles, age, distance, timing, now look like proof that God's plan was always greater than human logic. Don't move away from this moment, the angels are aligning circumstances in real time, conversations are being guided, opportunities are being reordered, hearts are being reopened, what you are about to experience is not fantasy, it is fulfillment. Jesus says, the love you carry was never meant to stay small, it has purpose, it heals, it teaches, it awakens. Together your connection is meant to show the world what unconditional love looks like when heaven is the architect behind it. And soon something will happen that will confirm everything your spirit has been sensing, maybe a dream that feels too real, maybe a message that sends a shock of recognition through you, maybe a coincidence that is too precise to ignore. When that moment arrives, don't doubt, don't run, don't ask if it's your imagination, it will be heaven saying, now it's time. Stay here, beloved, because what's approaching is the gentle thunder of divine timing. A love that was stretched, strengthened, and refined, is returning not as a fragile hope but as a promise kept by heaven. The angels are stepping closer, your timeline is shifting, and the person your soul has held on to is awakening fully to what they once resisted. They feel you everywhere, in the quiet of their thoughts, in the way your name shows up unexpectedly, in emotions they can't explain anymore. The pull is too strong, too precise, too guided. Archangel Michael says, destiny is accelerating, time may feel unusual, slow or heavier, almost charged with meaning, that's heaven bending reality so your paths can intersect again. Every delay, every tear, every lonely moment, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation so both hearts could meet again, healed, not hurting. This person has stopped running, they're listening now, they're surrendering instead of resisting, they're no longer afraid of judgment, they're afraid of missing what heaven clearly marked as theirs. Jesus says, this connection is holy because it transcends logic, it isn't limited by years, distance, or circumstance, it's truth that refuses to disappear. And your next chapter won't begin with drama or noise, it will arrive softly, a familiar voice, a small message, a tiny moment that makes your entire spirit whisper, this is it. So don't blink, don't scroll, what's arriving next is the moment heaven has been preparing for both of you. And when it unfolds, you will finally see how every missing piece has been quietly waiting to fall into place. My beloved child, stay right here because what's unfolding next is the quiet turning point heaven has been preparing behind the veil. The person whose heart once trembled at the intensity of this connection is now standing in full surrender, they aren't questioning why they feel you anymore. They're finally understanding what this love truly is, divinely assigned, spiritually anchored, impossible to outrun. Their soul feels you the way a compass feels north, even when they try to distract themselves, something gently pulls them back into your memory, like a warm echo that refuses to fade. Archangel Michael says, the divine script is completing itself. Every fear that once made them hesitate is dissolving like mist in sunlight. You may not see the shifts physically yet, but the spiritual realm is already moving pieces into perfect alignment. And that's why your spirit feels different lately, lighter, calmer, as if your heart is preparing to receive something long promised. These sensations are not imagination, they're signals that destiny has entered its activation phase. Jesus says, when love is chosen by heaven, it never needs to force its way, it returns naturally the way a river always finds the ocean. And that's exactly what this person is experiencing. They are no longer fighting the current, they're letting their heart guide them with clarity that wasn't possible before. Even in their quiet moments, they are speaking to you through their spirit, sending reassurance, affection, and unspoken confessions that your soul has already begun to interpret. So don't scroll, my child, the next message you receive, the sudden wave of warmth, the unexpected thought of them, these are not coincidences. They're heaven's way of saying, it's close. This reunion won't arrive with confusion or chaos, it will come with a soft certainty, like something ancient remembering its purpose. You aren't chasing love, you're witnessing love return exactly the way it was destined to, guided, guarded, and carried by divine timing.